Does managing portfolio risk lead to risk-averse leadership style and not taking bold moves?
Right. A good question. We talk about portfolio risk. That is a little different from a managing individual teams taking risk. We all heard of something called you don't put all eggs in one basket, because experimentation and expecting failure at a smaller scale, at an individual team scale, in the grand scheme of things, is acceptable. Imagine the whole ship, Titanic, fail. It's not good, right? So we can take a risk. We should take a risk as long as we know that worst case scenario is something we can accept as an organization. If we just blindly take a risk and not think about what's the worst case scenario, that is not smart. But if we know worst case scenario, we put additional measure around it so that we can take bold moves and without worrying about the sinking ship.
Yeah, there's probably two different thought processes there, right? One is sort of a generative, let's think of ideas, let's think of opportunities, let's assess them, and evaluative, okay, with these ideas, how do we compare it against what we know we're working on today? So getting that visibility gives you that foundation of confidence to be able to take a risk because you know what you would be giving up.
Right. And also the second part I want to also highlight is that as a product leader, especially if you're a CPO or running leading a product team, that you want your team to take a risk. But you need to watch out for that so they don't fail collectively, because nobody really gave them the direction on where we're going. So in a way that being a product leader is very hard. You need to empower your team. You need to let them run. You need to give them, the freedom of create and innovate. But you also need to make sure they're not hurting or fail and collectively fail. So that's the balancing art, particularly for product leaders.